The massive ship appeared above Earth without warning. It was unlike anything humans had ever seen. The vessel stretched across the sky like a floating city, its surface covered in strange lights that pulsed in patterns no human could understand. Military bases around the world went into high alert. Fighter jets scrambled into the air, but they looked like tiny insects compared to the alien ship Dot. Then the ship sent a message. It came in perfect English, Chinese, Arabic, and dozens of other languages all at once. The voice was calm and friendly. People of Earth, do not fear. We come in peace. We are the Galactic Harmony Council, and we wish to welcome you to the greater universe. World leaders gathered in emergency meetings. The United Nations building in New York became the center of the most important discussions in human history. The alien ship landed in a field outside the city, and 3 beings stepped out. They looked different from each other. One was tall and thin with blue skin. Another had 6 arms and golden eyes. The third looked almost human, but had silver hair and moved like it weighed nothing. These aliens called themselves ambassadors. They spoke about the Galactic Harmony Council, a group of 12 different alien races that worked together across the stars. They had been watching Earth for many years, they said. They were impressed by human creativity and problem-solving skills. Now they wanted to invite humanity to join their council. The offer seemed too good to be true. The aliens would give humans the technology to travel faster than light. They would share knowledge about medicine that could cure diseases. They would teach humans how to grow food in space and on other planets. All they asked in return was for humans to follow some simple rules. The rules did not seem too hard at first. Humans could only build a small number of military ships. They had to share any new technology they invented with the Council. They could not attack other Council members or expand their territory too quickly. Most importantly, they had to accept Council observers who would make sure Earth followed all the rules. Dr. Sarah Chen was one of the human scientists chosen to work with the aliens. She was excited about the chance to learn from beings who had traveled the stars for thousands of years. The alien technology was amazing. Their medical devices could heal broken bones in minutes. Their computers were smarter than anything humans had ever built. Their ships could cross the galaxy in days. But as months passed, Sarah began to notice strange things. The aliens asked many questions about human military technology. They wanted to know about Earth's nuclear weapons, about human fighting methods, about how human armies were organized. They said it was just to help them understand human culture better. The alien observers watched everything humans did. They attended meetings about new scientific discoveries. They visited factories and military bases. They always said they were just making sure humans followed the peace treaties. But Sarah felt like they were studying humans like lab animals. Other scientists shared her concerns. Dr. James Wright, a physicist working on new engine designs, found that the aliens were very interested in his work. They asked him to explain every detail. When he tried to keep some of his research private, they reminded him about the technology sharing agreement. Commander Lisa Rodriguez noticed that human military expansion was severely limited. The Council allowed humans to build only 50 armed ships. These ships could only carry light weapons. Meanwhile, each Council member had thousands of powerful warships. When Rodriguez asked about this difference, the aliens explained that new members always started with small fleets for security reasons. The benefits were real, though. Human colonies spread to 12 different star systems. Diseases that had killed millions of people were cured overnight. Crops grew faster and bigger than ever before. The aliens seemed friendly and helpful. They attended human cultural events and seemed to enjoy human art and music. But some humans began to feel uncomfortable. General Marcus Thompson, head of Earth's Space Defense Forces, noticed that human colonies were always placed far from Council worlds. Human ships were given routes that kept them away from important Council territories. When Thompson asked about visiting Council homeworlds, he was told that such visits required special permission that could take years to arrange. 5 years passed. Humanity grew and prospered under Council guidance. Human doctors worked on Council worlds, healing alien patients. Human engineers helped build better spaceships and space stations. Human farmers taught aliens new ways to grow food. Humans were proud to be part of something bigger than their own planet. The Council praised human contributions constantly. They said human creativity was unique in the galaxy. Human problem-solving skills had helped solve challenges that had puzzled Council scientists for centuries. Human medical knowledge had saved millions of alien lives. The Council leaders spoke often about how valuable humans were to the galactic community. Sarah Chun had become one of the lead researchers on a joint project to develop better life support systems. She worked closely with alien scientists and had learned to speak several alien languages. She felt honored to be part of such important work. But sometimes, late at night in her laboratory, she wondered why humans were always the ones giving knowledge while receiving so little in return. The Council had shared some technology, yes, but it was always older technology, things the aliens had used hundreds of years ago. When human scientists asked about the newest developments, they were told such knowledge was too dangerous for a young species like humanity. The aliens promised to share more advanced technology, as humans proved they could be trusted with it. Dr. Wright had similar experiences with weapons technology. The aliens shared basic energy weapons designs, but nothing close to what their own ships carried. When Wright tried to study captured Council weapons from training exercises, alien observers quickly removed them. They explained that advanced weapons could be dangerous if humans did not understand them properly. As the 5th year of Council membership ended, some humans began to ask difficult questions. Why were human colonies so isolated? Why could humans only build light military ships? Why did Council observers watch human activities so closely? The alien ambassadors always had reasonable answers. They spoke about security and the need for careful integration of new species. Most humans accepted these explanations. The benefits of Council membership were obvious. Life on Earth was better than it had ever been. Human colonies were thriving. Deadly diseases were gone. The future looked bright and full of possibilities among the stars. The emergency alert reached Earth at 3:47 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The message came from Kepler Station, a peaceful research facility where scientists from 12 different species worked together on medical research. The station was home to over 2 million beings, including 50,000 humans who had volunteered to help develop new treatments for alien diseases. Mayday, mayday. We are under attack. Human ships are firing on the station. Repeat. Human ships are attacking Kepler Station. The transmission cut off in a burst of static. Within minutes, every news network in the galaxy was showing the same horrifying images. Human warships, clearly marked with Earth symbols, were destroying the research station. Energy beams tore through the station's hull. Explosions lit up space as entire sections broke apart. Bodies floated in the void. The attacking ships methodically destroyed escape pods and rescue shuttles. On Earth, President Maria Santos watched the footage with growing horror. She immediately contacted the Council emergency line. "This is impossible," she said to the Zalarian ambassador. "We have no ships in that sector. All our military vessels are accounted for." The ambassador's response was cold. "The evidence is clear, President Santos. These are human ships using human weapons. Our deep space sensors tracked them coming from human territory. We have voice recordings of human officers giving attack orders. But the evidence was wrong. Admiral Thompson had checked every human ship personally. All military vessels were either at Earth or at human colonies. None were missing. None had been to the Kepler sector in months. The attack ships in the video looked like human vessels, but something felt wrong about them. Dr. Chen studied the footage carefully. She had worked on human ship designs for years. The attacking vessels looked right at first glance, but small details were wrong. The engine emissions were slightly different. The weapon signatures did not match human technology exactly. She tried to share her findings with the Council investigation team. "Your concerns are noted, Dr. Chen," the Council investigator said. "However, we have overwhelming evidence of human guilt. Sensor data, voice recordings, and witness testimony all confirm that humans committed this massacre." The Council's response was swift and brutal. Within hours of the attack, Council fleets surrounded all human territory. They declared a complete blockade of human space. No ships could enter or leave human systems. All trade was stopped. All communication with human colonies outside the solar system was cut off. "The human species has shown its true nature," announced Council Speaker Vorthik, a massive being with 4 arms and red eyes. "They have betrayed our trust and murdered innocent researchers. Until they can prove they are not a threat to galactic peace, they will be isolated and contained." The blockade was more than just a military action. Council forces began attacking human research stations and small colonies. Ships carrying human civilians were destroyed without warning. The Council claimed these were security operations to prevent further human aggression. Captain Rebecca Torres commanded the human colony ship New Horizon when Council forces attacked it near the Centauri system. Her ship carried 3,000 colonists, including many children. The attacking Council ships ignored her surrender signals and began firing immediately. "Please, we are civilians," Torres broadcast on all frequencies. "We have families aboard. We surrender." The Council ships kept firing until New Horizon exploded. There were no survivors. Similar attacks happened across human space. Colonies that had existed peacefully for years were bombed from orbit. Council forces claimed they were destroying human military installations, but the targets were clearly civilian. On Earth, the true scale of the disaster became clear. Over 40 human colonies and research stations had been destroyed in the first week. Nearly 500,000 humans had been killed. The survivors were trapped on their home planets with no way to escape or call for help. President Santos demanded answers from the Council. "You are committing genocide," she accused the alien ambassadors. "These are innocent people. Many of them are children. Humans forfeited their right to protection when they committed mass murder," the Zalarian ambassador replied. "The Council has a duty to protect peaceful species from human violence." But some humans began to discover the truth. Dr. Wright had been analyzing the wreckage of destroyed human ships. The metal and technology were wrong. The ships that attacked Kepler Station were built to look like human vessels, but they were made with alien materials and alien construction methods. Commander Rodriguez found even more disturbing evidence. Hidden Council communications, intercepted by human intelligence officers, revealed that the attack had been planned months in advance. The aliens had built fake human ships specifically to frame Earth for the massacre. "Operation Clean Slate is proceeding as planned," one intercepted message said. "The human ships perform perfectly. No one suspects they are Council constructions. Phase 2 can begin immediately." The conspiracy went deeper than just the Kepler attack. The Council had been planning to eliminate humanity from the beginning. They had studied human technology and culture for 5 years, learning everything they needed to build convincing fake ships. They had recorded human voices during meetings and communications, then used those recordings to fake the attack orders. The real reason became clear in another intercepted message between Council leaders. "Humans are too dangerous to remain free," it said. "They adapt too quickly. They think in ways we cannot predict. If we let them grow, they will eventually challenge our control of the galaxy. The Council's plan was not just to destroy humanity. They wanted to harvest human knowledge and creativity while keeping humans trapped and helpless. They planned to use Earth as a prison planet where humans would be forced to work on scientific projects for the councils. Benefit. Dr. Chun shared this information with other human leaders through secret communications networks. The evidence was clear. The council had never intended to treat humans as equals. From the very beginning, they had seen humanity as a useful but dangerous species that needed to be controlled or eliminated. President Santos realized that surrender was not an option. The council would never accept human innocence, no matter how much evidence humans provided. They had already decided that humanity was guilty. The blockade would continue until Earth was starved into submission or until humans were wiped out completely. As the second month of the blockade began, communication networks across human space started coming back online. These were not official government channels, but secret military frequencies that the Council did not know about. Human colonies that had survived the initial attacks began reporting in. The survivors brought shocking news. Not all human settlements had been destroyed. Some had hidden when the attacks began. Others had fought back and driven off Council forces. A few colonies had managed to escape to uninhabited star systems where they were building hidden bases. Most importantly, human engineers had been working in secret for years. They had suspected that the Council's restrictions on human technology were designed to keep humanity weak. So they had been developing new technologies in hidden laboratories and shipyards. Earth was not as helpless as the Council believed. Humanity was about to show the aliens what humans could really do when they stopped following someone else's rules. The emergency session began at midnight in the underground bunker beneath the Swiss Alps. For the first time in human history, every nation on Earth sent representatives to the same meeting. Old enemies sat next to each other. Countries that had fought wars for centuries worked together on the same plans. The alien blockade had accomplished something that thousands of years of human diplomacy could not. It had united humanity completely. President Santos addressed the assembled leaders. "We face extinction," she said simply. "The Council wants to wipe us out or make us slaves. We can surrender and die slowly, or we can fight and maybe survive. There is no third option." The Chinese Premier spoke first. "My country offers all our resources. Every factory, every scientist, every engineer. We will build whatever humanity needs to survive." The Russian president nodded. "Our space mining operations and asteroid factories are already hidden from Council sensors. We can expand them." One by one, every nation pledged everything they had. Money meant nothing now. Borders meant nothing. Politics meant nothing. Only survival mattered. General Thompson outlined the situation. "The Council thinks they have us trapped, but they made mistakes. They don't know about all our hidden facilities. They don't understand how quickly humans can adapt. They're about to learn." The secret facilities had been built during the 5 years of Council friendship. Human leaders had never fully trusted the aliens. While openly cooperating with the Council, they had quietly prepared for the possibility of conflict. Hidden research labs worked on weapons technology. Secret shipyards in remote asteroid fields built experimental vessels. Underground factories on Earth produced equipment that violated Council treaties. Dr. Wright presented his latest designs. "The Council restricts our ships to light weapons and slow engines." But they never said anything about ammunition that thinks for itself. He showed blueprints for smart missiles that could adapt to enemy defenses in real time. Each missile contained a small computer that learned from every attack, sharing knowledge with other missiles instantly. Dr. Chun had been working on medical applications. But now she adapted her research for military use. "Alien biology is different from ours," she explained. I've developed weapons that target specific alien genetic markers. These weapons are harmless to humans, but deadly to Council species. The most impressive presentation came from Commander Rodriguez. She had been secretly studying captured Council technology for years. The aliens use the same ship designs they've used for centuries, she said. They're powerful but predictable. I found 17 major weaknesses in their standard battle formations. Rodriguez showed detailed plans for new human ships. These vessels looked nothing like traditional spacecraft. They were built for war, not exploration. They could jump directly into gravity wells, something Council ships could not do. They carried weapons that could adapt to any enemy shield frequency. Most importantly, they were designed to work together like a single organism. Council ships fight like individuals, Rodriguez explained. Each captain makes decisions for their own vessel. Human ships will share information instantly. When one ship learns something, all ships know it immediately. The production plans were staggering. Every major nation would contribute to building the war fleet. Russian asteroid miners would provide raw materials. Chinese factories would build engines and weapons. American shipyards would assemble the final vessels. European research centers would develop new technologies. African nations would train pilots and crew members. But the most important work was happening in secret colonies that the Council didn't know existed. When the blockade began, hundreds of human settlements had gone dark, pretending to be destroyed. In reality, they were building hidden shipyards and weapons factories. Captain Torres, who had barely escaped the destruction of her colony ship, now commanded one of these secret facilities. New anchorage was built inside a hollowed-out asteroid in an uninhabited star system. From the outside, it looked like empty space. Inside, 10,000 humans worked around the clock building warships. "We're not just building ships," Torres reported to Earth. "We're building a new kind of military. Every person here knows someone who died in the Council attacks. We're not fighting for territory or politics. We're fighting for the right to exist." The hidden colonies shared a crucial advantage. They had captured Council technology from the ships that attacked them. Human engineers reverse-engineered alien weapons and shields. They found ways to improve on designs that aliens had considered perfect for thousands of years. The breakthrough came when Dr. Sarah Martinez, working at a secret lab on Titan, discovered how Council FDL drives really worked. "They don't just bend space," she announced during a secure video conference. "They fold it in specific patterns. If we can predict these patterns, we can intercept Council ships when they jump." Martinez's discovery led to the development of jump inhibitor fields. Human ships could now trap enemy vessels, preventing them from escaping when a battle turned against them. This technology would prove crucial in the coming war. Meanwhile, human intelligence networks gathered information about Council military positions. Humans who had worked on Council worlds for years suddenly became valuable spies. They used their access to alien facilities to map defense systems and identify critical targets. Dr. Chun contacted her former alien colleagues through secret channels. Some aliens, particularly younger ones, had never supported the war against humanity. They quietly provided information about Council military plans and weaknesses. "Not all aliens agree with their leaders," Chun reported. "Many of them know the attack on Kepler Station was fake. They want this war to end, but they're too afraid to speak publicly." The preparation period lasted 18 months. During this time, Earth transformed itself into a fortress world. Underground factories worked constantly. Space elevators carried materials to orbital shipyards. Every major city had hidden weapon installations. If the Council tried to invade Earth, they would face resistance from every human on the planet. The new ships were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. They were sleek and fast, designed to strike quickly and disappear. Their weapons could penetrate any known shield system. Their engines could outrun any Council vessel. Most importantly, they carried crews who fought not for conquest but for survival. The secret fleet grew to over 3,000 ships. Each vessel was crewed by humans who had lost family members in the Council attacks. They had trained together, fought together, and prepared together. They knew that this would be humanity's only chance to break free from the Council's trapdoor as the fleet prepared for launch. President Santos sent a final message to the Council. You thought you could cage humanity. You thought you could use us and then destroy us when we became inconvenient. You were wrong. We are not your victims. We are not your slaves. We are human, and we are coming. The message was broadcast on all frequencies across the galaxy. Every Council world received it. Every alien leader heard it. It was humanity's declaration of war against the beings who had tried to exterminate them. The Council's response was swift and arrogant. Earth will be sterilized, they announced. The human infection will be cleansed from the galaxy. But as Council fleets moved toward human territory, they had no idea what was waiting for them in the dark between the stars. Humanity had used their prison time well. Operation Broken Chain began at exactly 12 o'clock GMT, on a Tuesday that would be remembered across the galaxy forever. In 12 different star systems, human ships appeared from dark space without warning. They had traveled for months through areas of space that Council sensors could not detect. Now they emerged like wolves from the shadows, ready to strike. Admiral Thompson commanded the assault from the bridge of the new flagship Retribution. Around him, holographic displays showed the positions of all human forces across the galaxy. 3,000 ships had been divided into 12 attack groups. Each group targeted a different Council homeworld. All groups report ready, his communications officer announced. Thompson nodded grimly. Execute Operation Broken Chain. Show them what humanity can do. The first target was Zelaria Prime, homeworld of the blue-skinned aliens who had delivered humanity's death sentence. Captain Liu Wei led the attack with 250 ships. They jumped directly into the planet's gravity well, something Council military doctrine said was impossible. The Zalarian defense fleet was caught completely off guard. Their ships were arranged in traditional formations around the planet's orbital stations. They expected any attack to come from the system's edge, giving them time to respond and organize. Instead, human ships appeared right in the middle of their formation. Unknown vessels. Identify yourselves immediately. The Zalarian fleet commander transmitted. Captain Liu's response was cold and simple. We are humanity. You tried to exterminate us. Now face the consequences. The human ships attacked with weapons the Zalarians had never seen before. Smart missiles that adapted to their targets mid-flight. Energy beams that changed frequency to penetrate shields. Most terrifying of all, the human ships moved like they shared a single mind. When one human ship detected a weakness in an enemy vessel, every other human ship instantly knew about it. When the Zalarians adapted their tactics, human ships had already predicted the change and moved to counter it. The battle lasted less than 3 hours. The mighty Zalarian fleet, which had dominated their home system for 1,000 years, was completely destroyed. Human ships moved on to target military installations on the planet's surface. They carefully avoided civilian areas, but every weapons factory, every military base, every government building was reduced to rubble. Similar battles raged across the galaxy. On Korath, homeworld of the six-armed aliens, Commander Rodriguez led a devastating attack against their massive orbital shipyards. The Korathi had built ships for the entire Council for centuries. Their space stations were supposed to be impregnable fortresses. Rodriguez's ships proved that wrong in minutes. They used jump inhibitor fields to trap enemy vessels, then systematically destroyed them one by one. When Korathi ships tried to escape, they found themselves pulled out of hyperspace and surrounded by human attackers. "This is impossible," the Korthi Defense Coordinator broadcast. "Our shields are rated against any known weapon." Rodriguez watched as her smart missiles adapted to the alien shields in real time. "You're fighting human weapons now. Your ratings don't apply anymore." The attack on Vorthic's homeworld was particularly satisfying. The massive red-eyed alien who had announced humanity's guilt watched helplessly as his planet's defenses crumbled. Captain Torres, whose colony ship had been destroyed in the opening days of the war, led the assault personally. "For New Horizon," she whispered as her ships opened fire on Vorthic's command center. "For all the innocent people you murdered." But the most stunning victory came at Nexus Central, the Council's military headquarters. This was supposed to be the most heavily defended location in the galaxy. Thousands of ships from all 12 Council species protected the massive space station. The Coordinated Council Military Operations. Dr. Wright, now commanding the experimental ship Breakthrough, led the attack. His vessel carried the most advanced technology humanity had developed. It could fold space around itself, becoming effectively invisible to Council sensors. Wright's ship appeared directly inside the Nexus Central Command Center. Before the aliens could react, he deployed a quantum virus that infected every computer system in the facility. Within minutes, the Council's entire military communication network was under human control. "This is Dr. James Wright, speaking to all Council forces," he broadcast on their own frequencies. "Your command structure is gone. Your fleets are isolated. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to human rules of war. Continue fighting, and you will share the fate of your leaders." Across the galaxy, Council ships began surrendering in massive numbers. Without central coordination, individual captains found themselves facing organized human forces that seemed to anticipate their every move. Many aliens had never fought against an enemy that adapted so quickly. The most powerful Council fleets tried to regroup and launch counterattacks. But human forces had studied Council tactics for months. They knew how each species preferred to fight. They had prepared specific strategies for each type of alien vessel. The hegemony ships, known for their heavy armor, found that human weapons could penetrate their strongest defenses. The collective drones, famous for overwhelming enemies with numbers, were disabled by electronic warfare systems that turned their own coordination against them within 6 hours of the start of Operation Broken Chain. The Council's military power was broken. Every homeworld had fallen. Every major fleet had been destroyed or forced to surrender. The political leaders who had ordered humanity's extermination were either dead or in human custody. But the most shocking aspect of the human victory was not its speed or completeness. It was humanity's restraint. Despite having overwhelming military superiority, human forces carefully avoided civilian targets. Alien prisoners were treated well. Surrender was accepted immediately when offered. President Santos addressed the galaxy from the captured Nexus Central. "To the people of the former Council worlds, we offer you a choice. Join us in building a better galaxy, or we will leave you alone to rebuild your own societies. We came here to stop those who tried to commit genocide against humanity. We have no interest in becoming conquerors or oppressors." The alien civilians, who had been told that humans were savage monsters, could hardly believe what they were seeing. The supposedly vicious human military was providing medical aid to wounded aliens. Human engineers were helping repair damaged civilian infrastructure. Human negotiators were offering reasonable surrender terms instead of demanding total submission. On Zelaria Prime, Dr. Chun worked alongside her former alien colleagues to treat the wounded. Many Zelarians had believed their government's lies about human aggression. Now they saw humans risking their lives to save alien civilians. "Why are you helping us?" a young Zelarian scientist asked Chun as they worked together in a field hospital. Chun looked up from the alien patient she was treating. "Because that's what humans do." We help people who need help, even if they're former enemies. The speed and decisiveness of humanity's victory sent shockwaves across the galaxy. In less than a day, the council that had ruled for millennia was gone. The species that was supposed to be contained and eliminated had instead demonstrated military capabilities that no one had imagined possible. But even more shocking was what happened next. Instead of ruling through fear and oppression like the council, humanity began showing the galaxy something it had never seen before, a species that could choose mercy even after achieving total victory. Intelligence reports flooded in from across council space. Other alien species, ones not part of the original 12-member council, were watching humanity's actions carefully. They had all heard the stories about savage humans who committed mass murder. Now they were seeing something completely different. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was not their ability to wage war. It was their ability to choose peace, even when they had the power to choose otherwise. Admiral Thompson stood on the bridge of retribution, looking out at the stars that humanity now controlled. His fleet had accomplished the impossible. They had broken the most powerful military alliance in galactic history, but Thompson knew the real work was just beginning. Winning the war was easy compared to what came next, building a peace that would last. 6 months after the fall of the Galactic Harmony Council, representatives from 47 different species gathered on a neutral space station called New Haven. The station had been built by humans in just 4 months, demonstrating the same incredible efficiency they had shown during the war. But this time, they were building for peace instead of destruction. President Santos stood before the assembled delegates, looking out at beings who had once considered humanity a threat to be eliminated. Now they were here to discuss something that had never existed in galactic history, a truly voluntary alliance of equals. "We call it the Terran Compact," Santos explained to the crowded assembly hall. "Not because humans will rule it, but because it represents human values. Freedom of choice, equality among species, protection of the innocent, and most importantly, the right of every species to determine its own future." The response from the alien delegates was mixed. Some species had eagerly sought human protection after witnessing the swift destruction of the Council. Others remained suspicious of humanity's motives. Many simply could not understand why the victorious humans were offering partnership instead of demanding submission. Ambassador Keleth of the Hegemony spoke first. His people had been one of the most powerful council members before their fleet was destroyed in 37 minutes. "Why should we trust you?" he asked bluntly. "You have the power to force us to do anything you want. Why pretend to offer us choices?" Santa smiled. "Because force doesn't create lasting peace. It only creates future wars. We've seen what happens when the strong rule through fear. We don't want to repeat the Council's mistakes." Dr. Chun, now serving as humanity's chief science advisor, presented the Compact's basic principles. Every member species keeps complete control of their homeworld and colonies. No species can be forced to share technology or resources. Military forces remain under local control. The Compact only acts when member species are threatened by outside forces. The terms seemed too generous to be real. Former Council species would keep their territories. Their governments would remain in place. They would pay no tribute to humanity. In exchange, they would receive protection from external threats and access to joint research projects. "What do humans gain from this arrangement?" asked Representative Zara of the Collective. Her species had controlled vast trading networks before the war. They understood that every deal had to benefit both sides. Admiral Thompson answered this question. "We gained what we've always wanted, the chance to explore the galaxy in peace, to learn from other species, to build something better than what came before." The most difficult discussions involved the war crimes tribunals. Human investigators had uncovered extensive evidence of the Council's crimes against humanity. Fabricated evidence. Mass murder of civilians. Plans for genocide. The guilty parties needed to face justice, but humanity's approach to justice surprised everyone. Instead of demanding executions or life imprisonment, human prosecutors focused on truth and accountability. They wanted the galaxy to understand what had really happened and why it must never happen again. Vorthik, the former council speaker, stood trial for crimes against humanity. The evidence against him was overwhelming. He had personally authorized the attacks on human civilian ships. He had known the Kepler station attack was a false flag operation. He had planned humanity's complete extermination. During his trial, Vorthik showed no remorse. "Humans are dangerous," he declared. "Everything we did was necessary to protect the galaxy from your species." The human prosecutor, Director Martinez, responded calmly. "You were right about one thing. Humans are dangerous. We're dangerous to tyrants who think they have the right to decide which species deserve to live." Vorthik was sentenced to life imprisonment on a comfortable prison world where he would spend his remaining years writing about his experiences. Other war criminals received similar sentences. No executions, no torture, just isolation from society and time to think about their actions. This merciful approach to justice impressed many aliens, but it also concerned others. Queen Lithara of the Eternal Dynasty worried that human mercy might be seen as weakness. "The galaxy is a dangerous place," she told President Santos during a private meeting. "There are species out there that will see your kindness as an invitation to attack. How will you deal with truly evil enemies?" Santos's answer was direct and frightening in its simplicity. "We will destroy them completely, just like we destroyed the Council. But we will not become evil ourselves in the process." The demonstration of this principle came sooner than expected. The Ravager swarm, a species of mechanical beings from outside the galaxy, chose that moment to invade Council space. They had been waiting for the Council's military power to weaken before making their move. The Ravagers consumed entire planets, turning organic matter into more of themselves. They had destroyed civilizations in other galaxies and showed no interest in communication or negotiation. They simply consumed everything in their path. When the Ravager fleet appeared at the edge of former Council space, panic spread across dozens of worlds. The old Council military was gone. Individual species could not stand against the mechanical invaders. It seemed like the galaxy was doomed. But humanity responded with the same swift efficiency they had shown against the Council. Admiral Rodriguez, now commanding the Compact's defense forces, deployed human fleets to intercept the Ravagers. The battle was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Ravager ships were larger and more numerous than anything the Council had ever built. But they fought like machines, following predictable patterns and unable to adapt quickly to changing situations. Human forces used their greatest advantage, the ability to learn and change during combat. Every time the Ravagers adapted to one human tactic, humanity was already implementing 3 new strategies. The war against the Ravagers lasted 2 years. Human ships fought alongside vessels from former Council species who had joined the Compact. Zolarian medical ships treated wounded humans. Korathi engineers repaired damaged human vessels. Hegemony warriors fought beside human marines in boarding actions. The final battle took place at the edge of the galaxy, where humanity's most advanced ships engaged the Ravager command vessels. Dr. Wright, now commanding the experimental ship Breakthrough, led a desperate assault on the Ravager's central processor. For the galaxy, Wright transmitted as his ship dove into the heart of the enemy formation. For all species who choose life over extinction, the victory against the Ravagers proved to the galaxy that the Terran Compact was more than just human protection. It was a true alliance where former enemies had become partners in defending their shared home. In the aftermath of the Ravager War, applications for compact membership flooded in from across the galaxy. Species that had never been part of the Council wanted to join humanity's alliance. They had seen what happened to civilizations that faced external threats alone, but the Compact remained selective. Membership required more than just a desire for protection. Species had to demonstrate a commitment to the Compact's values: freedom, equality, and respect for all sentient life. The greatest success story was the integration of former Council species. The Zilarians became leading medical researchers in the Compact. Their advances in biological sciences, combined with human creativity, produced treatments for diseases that had plagued the galaxy for millennia. The Korthi used their engineering expertise to design new types of space stations and ships. Their methodical approach balanced human innovation with proven safety systems. Together, they built structures that exceeded what either species could accomplish alone. Even Vorthix people, the Dominion, eventually joined the Compact. Their new government, led by younger aliens who had opposed the war, worked to make amends for their species' crimes. They shared their advanced shield technology freely and helped train Compact defense forces. 5 years after the formation of the Terran Compact, President Santos stood once again before a galactic assembly. But this time, she was not announcing humanity's survival against genocide. She was celebrating the 5th anniversary of galactic peace. "We have built something unprecedented," she told the gathered representatives. "An alliance based on choice rather than conquest. A government that serves its members instead of ruling them. A galaxy where species cooperate instead of competing for dominance." The statistics were impressive. Trade between member species had increased by 400%. Scientific discoveries happened at 3 times the pre-war rate. Violent conflicts between species had dropped to near zero. Most importantly, no member species had ever been forced to do anything against their will. But the real measure of the Compact's success was not in numbers. It was in the stories of individual beings whose lives had been transformed. Dr. Chun worked alongside the same Zilarian colleagues she had known before the war. But now they were true partners instead of suspicious allies. Admiral Thompson commanded fleets with crews from dozens of different species. Former enemies served together on the same ships, united by shared values instead of